What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Steel City Live here on Mike Sports. I'm your host, Jason, as always, and we are here diving into some Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis as we do every weekday on our live show, and it is good to have you all. Thank you. My wife went and made me go pick up this 10-foot tall skeleton decoration for Halloween. From Lowe's. So it made me a few minutes later than I wanted to be because our practice got canceled. So I was like, oh, I'll shoot for 7:30 today. But we ended up being a little bit before 7:45. So, hey, a little bit earlier than usual. But we're here. We're rocking it, man. And again, I appreciate you all for stopping through, joining us here on Steel City Live, doing all this Steelers talk daily, man. It's a real honor to do that for you guys. What's up, Sean? Miss Pittsburgh. Yeah, Brandon Aiyuk did get signed. We're going to talk about all that. Robert Road to con man didn't get conned. Yep, absolutely. Daniel Warman, the best show on the internet. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Miss Pittsburgh. Like and subscribe, guys. Brian Hanford, Let's Go Steelers Nation. Mike Drop about to spit some sizzling Steel City facts. I hope so, buddy. I hope so. Good to see you, Brian. Tom Ford, what's up, man? Brandon Aiyuk saga comes to an end with him staying with San Francisco on a 4-year, $120 million, $76 million fully guaranteed for one Brandon Aiyuk. That can be now put away, put to bed. Thank God, dude. And I gotta say that I've been looking at it this way, guys, and I'm not sure if any of you were looking at it this way. The amount of drama that's been going on with this, it almost got to the point that I really just didn't even care if the dude came. You know what I mean? Honestly, yes, I respect his talent. I think he's amazing. But it got to the point for me that I didn't care. And I understand what he did, and he did what he had to do. He played the game to get the most money he could absolutely get, man. And God bless him. That's what that's what feeds his kids. That's what feeds his family. That's what's going to create generational wealth for him and his family. It is what it is, man. And there's nothing I really can complain about, but it just dragged on far too long for me. John Broadway, what's up, man? No more Aiyuk drama. It's over, absolutely. Robert Road, I am going to be out for a bit, so I can't catch this show. But like most of you, I am okay with Brandon staying in San Francisco. I'm definitely okay with it. I'm okay with it. And I think the Steelers may have something else up their sleeve now that this drama ends today. What a distraction BA has been. It's been a distraction. I can't argue that. Sean says, I'm worried about our O-line. So many injuries already, and the season hasn't even started yet. Yeah, that's the tough part, man. That's where my major concern falls also, man. I cannot get off of that point, guys. This offensive line, one that I thought was going to be a real strong suit for this football team because I really loved the depth and the young talent and the way that this offensive line was appearing to me on paper that it was going to come out to be by the end of training camp. And again, injuries bite you and things change. And once something that I thought was a strength starts to become a concern. So that's how drastic and how quickly things can take a turn in the NFL, how quickly things can take a turn in the NFL. All right, guys, make sure you're hitting the shit out of that like button for us here on Steel City Live. We're going to dive into all of this talk and much, much more here on the show today. We're going to really have no time constraints, so we can kind of let it flow how it flows and, whatever it may become. And, thank you. And make sure you're hitting that like button, though, to share the show and all that good shit. Let me get a drink, guys. Miss Pittsburgh says they are making me real nervous, but some kind of way they always come through. And that's what the good franchises do, Miss Pittsburgh. And the good franchises do what it takes, and they adjust, and things may not be the most ideal. It may not be what the fan base is looking for, and what they necessarily want done, but it's what has to be done. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have been good at doing that over the years. Now, are they perfect in their actions? No. They've made many mistakes. Many. You look at Mike Tomlin and you look at that thumbnail that I made today for this show. 2024 is on Mike Tomlin, period. It is what it is. The poor roster management, the poor situational football, just the many things that I feel like Mike Tomlin isn't the best at. He has to make sure that he is squared away and dots his I's and crosses his T. Mike Tomlin needs to make sure that he does what is necessary for this football team to succeed in 2024. And it is on Mike Tomlin. He has to have, in 2024, his best coaching performance that he has had in his entire career. And I say that why? You've had a top shelf defense for a couple seasons here, and you have to strike on that. You have to take advantage of that. You're going to have an offense that is going to be serviceable with Arthur Smith at the helm, guys like George Pickens, guys like Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, guys like that. You're going to have a serviceable to good offense that I think will evolve throughout the season that's going to be good enough. And if you're Mike Tomlin, you have to be so good situationally. You have to just be really locked in with your scheme on both sides of the football, and you have to be that manager, that CEO of this franchise. This is the season that he has to come through and make this shit work, man. It's a necessity. And people can be Mike Tomlin apologists all you want. I'm going to tell the truth. And Mike Tomlin has some things that aren't desirable. It's just not something you want to see. And that's okay, because no coach is perfect. But Mike Tomlin has to capitalize this year, has to be able to get this roster to become something that's respectable in terms of a playoff winner, things of that nature. I just feel like after going almost a decade here without winning a playoff game, I think that starts to jeopardize your legacy in my eyes. In my eyes, I think it does matter. I think that, you just can't be good for one little part of your career, winning playoff games, doing those things, and then all of a sudden just fall off the cliff and never win again. I don't know. Even Chuck Noll had a playoff win way back in the day there toward the end of his career, his last playoff win, I think, against the Houston Oilers. So even that guy did, I know Bill Cowher had some trying times, but yeah, he turned it on, I think, a little bit more toward the end of his career. I just want to see Mike Tomlin do that same thing, finish a little bit here. We're not even finished. We're not saying that he's going anywhere. I just want to see him start to capitalize on some of these things that he has at his disposal and not allow some of these players that are Hall of Fame type players not ever get a playoff win. Do you guys realize that TJ Watt has never been involved in a playoff win? Never, ever in his whole career, he's never got to win a playoff game. Does anyone realize that? How sad is that? That you have the best defensive player in the entire world, and that guy has never won a playoff game. I don't know. I think some of it starts to boil down the coaching, and that's why in 2024, I'm laying it at Mike Tomlin's feet. And roster management has to be top shelf. Situational football has to be top shelf. And he's got to start making the right decisions in order to set this football team up for success. That's just how it boils down for me. All right, sorry, guys. I got off on a little tirade. Sean, FYI, I'm currently in a monster line of vehicles, all of which are parents trying to pick our kids up from school. I don't envy you, Sean. I used to do the take my kids to school shit all the time, and finally, I just was like, let them ride the bus, dude. I don't want to deal with it. And since they've been riding the bus, it's been amazing. So I've been pumped about that. There's been some scuffles. There's been some bullshit, typical kid stuff. But it's been awesome. I don't know if you have, though, where you live, bus line available to you to be able to do that. But I quit that shit of doing the parent pickup. Not much, my friend. Boom, boom, ladies and gents. What's up, D? Danny George, thank God we didn't need that cat anyway. Christopher Motley, going to be a long year for Pittsburgh, 5-12. I can't agree with you there. I look at this roster and I look at the bold, the whole picture. and really soak everything in. And I do think that there is a chance for catastrophic failure. I can't argue with you there, but I can't get on board with a 5-12 football team. I just don't see that happening. I talked about Mike Tomlin and how this season is laid at his feet in my eyes. I think that he has to perform, and that's just the way I feel about it. But Mike Tomlin isn't a coach that's going to go for a 5-12 season. I just don't see that happening. Does he need to get over that hump? Abso-freaking-lutely, man. The playoff drought is ridiculous. And I know people will say, well, you Steeler fans, you're spoiled, blah, blah, blah. No, bullshit. Bullshit. We expect a winner. We pay. We want. We root for this team. We pour our money into this team. We pour our time, our valuable, valuable time into this football team. And what do we expect? A winner. That's a winner's mentality, and I expect the fan base to have a winner's mentality, just like I expect the damn franchise to have a winner's mentality. Mediocrity isn't cool. It isn't cool, dude. It's not what I'm aiming for, and that's not what the Pittsburgh Steelers should be aiming for. But hey, I just can't get on board with that. I could see a season that they're barely over the, barely over. We'll say maybe like, maybe a 9-win team, maybe a 10-win team. I think that's about the lowest you go, and I think best case scenario is an 11 or 12-win team. That's where I think that this Pittsburgh Steelers team floats right now, and I think it's going to come down to what? That offensive line getting healthy and starting to gel, starting to allow those young guys to grow. That's going to be one of the most important keys, guys. Offensive line, it's got to grow, got to get together, got to get that thing rolling, man. You get that in line. Let the quarterback be the guy that you want, consistent, veteran, that type of dude, a guy that's going to not let the lights in the moment be too big for him, be able to deliver on those big third down passes, be able to move the chains, allow that running game to work. That's what you're looking for. And we're going to dive a little bit more into that too. Let me get back to the chat a little bit. What's up, Chris? So are we going to limp on to our wide receiver room and sign Noah Brown? I don't know who they sign. I don't know what the answer is. I don't. I can't give you a definitive answer there, and I won't pretend like I know who they would sign. I think after this Brandon Aiyuk saga, all bets are off the table for me, and really, truly, it's becoming a crapshoot. So, I think that there has to be some focus in key positions, wide receiver being one of them. Hopefully they do find somebody else. But am I okay and comfortable with what they have to go into Atlanta week 1? I'm good with it. Let's roll, baby. Yeah, I'm good with it. I think we're going to do pretty well. That's from Danny George. I think so too. College football is light years better than the NFL. Oh, hell no, dude. No way. I live in a college football town, and it is either feast or famine for college football, in my opinion. I can't get on board with rooting for teams that have absolutely zero chance of ever winning a national title. What's so fun about watching that? I don't give a shit who wins the Huggies Diaper Bowl or the KY Jelly Bowl live from Pasadena, California. I could give a shit less, bro. I think college football is dumb half the time. Now, I think the playoffs making it better. But it's the same damn teams in it all the time. There ain't really nobody new coming in and out of it. That's why it's so exciting when some random team does do well, because it's so rare, you know what I mean? But NFL football, week in, week out, close games that matter each and every week. There is no way you can compare college football to NFL football when week in and week out, the games don't matter for college football. Half the teams suck ass, and they're not going to do anything. That's just my opinion, man. I'm not knocking you, just my opinion on it. You got to watch some UFC, Jay. We could talk about John Jones ducking Tom Aspinall. Yeah, I've been watching it a little bit lately, D. Definitely starting to get into it a little bit. But if I do that, I will have to maybe start another show for combat sports or something like that. I got some things in the works. Sean, if you're still out there, I need to talk to you too. there's something I need to talk to you about, and I need you to maybe see if you can come do a meeting with me on Monday. So there's some things in the works, guys. We're going to up our game here and give you the opportunity to probably talk about a lot of different sports, see a lot of different sports. I got some things lined up this week, meeting-wise, with some people that you're familiar with or maybe not familiar with, and we're going to try to up our game here, man, like I've been telling you, and things could start to be in a lot more broader spectrum, but we will always have this. But I would love to talk about other sports too. Chris, Omar better have something up his sleeve. I think he does. I don't think you see the Steelers 53-man roster remain the same before next week. I honestly do. Because let's face this fact, guys. Any move that you potentially make, if you want that player to be involved in week 1, you have to get it done from now, Thursday night to Sunday. Because why? They have to be at practice next week to be able to start getting on the same page in order for you to use that player. If it's somebody of a significant value, a meaning, somebody that's going to come in and be able to do something. You want that player to be in there before next week. So let's just say this. I would expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to do something from now to Sunday. I think that there could be something that happens. Do I know if it's a defensive back? Do I know if it's a wide receiver? Do I know is it an offensive line? I don't. Nobody does. But I think Omar Khan does have something up his sleeve, Chris. I love the emojis. Hey, guys, get yourselves your emojis. Get yourselves those loyalty badges. Right now, you can get the loyalty badge for the 5K. Everybody building up the 5K will have that badge for being in the first 5,000 original subscribers. We're almost to 4,000, so we want to hit that first here. So let's light it up and definitely start sharing and start liking and start subscribing. Why is he already in the hall? I'm not sure who you're talking about, buddy. Apologizing for Tomlin is a good way to embarrass yourself in the future. Yeah, I ain't apologizing. Definitely not. Details, Tomlin, clock management. Yeah, details are important, guys. And anyone that wants to sit there and just, have this super love fest for Mike Tomlin without, identifying any of his deficiencies, you're fooling yourself and you're putting blinders on. It's just the truth. It's the truth. You can like Mike Tomlin. That's okay. I like Mike Tomlin. I think he's a good dude. I don't know him personally, but I wouldn't think he's a bad person or anything. I just think that he has some deficiencies out there when it comes to game day. The poor roster management is what really chaps my ass, especially last year when he watched his football team stumble, going against 2-win football teams and getting their ass beat, and allowing it to continue to go on without making the necessary change because you're too damn stubborn to admit Mitchell Trubisky was a piece of shit. He played like dog shit, man, and you continued to allow it. You allowed Kenny Pickett to go out there with the defense carrying his ass, making a play here or there, but really putting the defense in a compromising situation because they could never get a first down. Yeah, they were winning some games, but man, that wasn't good enough. There's some things that I think just really irked the shit out of me, man, with Mike Tomlin, man. All right, guys, let's keep getting back in the chat. John Broadway, Tomlin has had enough time in Pittsburgh. Steelers fans have had enough of his talking and more. We need more. We do need more action. We need action. The word salad, the large vocabulary that Mike Tomlin possesses, awesome, bro. I applaud you. I love it. I love the intelligence level. Your vocabulary's sick. Sweet, bro. But we got to see some action. We got to see some production. We got to see things start to make sense to me, in terms of the Steelers being so loyal to Mike Tomlin. It has to make sense in the win column. It has to make sense during the playoff time. And if you continually fail and fail and fail and fail, and you're putting out, a quality roster, I think this is a quality roster the Steelers possess this year. Man, it's just hard to take. It's super hard to take. DEI is the only way Tomlin makes the Hall of Fame, and all the postseason success he's ever had was with another coach's players, and his career before the Steelers was nothing. it was because what was he, a positional coach? Maybe what was he, a D coordinator 1 year or something? So yeah, his coaching resume is with the Steelers, basically. All the coaching resume that matters anyway. And I can't disagree with you. He had a roster that was tailor-made to win a Super Bowl. And he did succeed with that roster. I'll give him that. They lost that Super Bowl that I thought they should have won against Green Bay. But when you're missing a cornerstone foundational piece such as Marquise Pouncey, that hurts you. That hurts you big in a Super Bowl, man. You have to have those players, and that's why this season, right now, these offensive line injuries are starting to really concern me, because you see what the offensive line really truly means to a football team. But I don't know how Mike Tomlin could be proud of this last part of his career. The mediocrity in my eyes, non-losing season stat, that don't do it for me, man. It just doesn't. I'd rather go 4-12 a couple times and cash that in for a couple Super Bowls. Chris says, too many short chain movers in our wide receiver room. Scotty Miller should have never made the roster. That spot belongs to Dez Fitzpatrick. Dez Fitzpatrick, man, scares me. And I say that because he's dropped balls in big moments. And I think that scares teams off, like the Steelers. You've seen him drop balls in the Super Bowl. You've seen him drop balls in big moments. You've seen him not have an aggressive nature toward the football in terms of combat catches and things of that nature. Those things concern you at the NFL level. It really does. And that may be what's holding Dez Fitzpatrick back, at least in my eyes when I watch his game. I think he's very athletic. I think he runs good, real crisp routes. I like that part of his game. But maybe sometimes the drop issues and sometimes maybe not being aggressive enough, maybe is keeping teams, a little, wanting to keep a little bit of a distance between them and not maybe sign him. And then you look at Scotty Miller, a guy that's a veteran, a guy that's played in big moments, a guy that can get it done, and you can be confident and comfortable with him. You're not going to, think he's going to drop the ball half the time. Those types of things. I'm just saying. I'm just speculating here, guys. I don't know for sure why the Steelers didn't, why they, chose one or the other. I don't know, but that's just my guess. Regis, what's up? He will be in the Hall of Fame, but I agree winning playoff games will help more. I think he'll be in a Hall of Fame also. Now, I don't know how he gets there. I don't know. That's not my business. I don't vote. But Mike Tomlin has had parts of his career, a part of his career where I felt like it was ultra successful. And a lot of people really feel like that was with Bill Cowher's team. And it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just think Mike Tomlin, in order to cement his legacy, needs to come out and control 2024 and really make his coaching, his head coaching position matter to this football team. Really do some things in order to put them in a successful situation. Daniel Warman, Jason, can we trade the Cincinnati Reds and Jamar Chase for TJ Watt, best player in the NFL? Bless you, sir. No, I wouldn't even make that trade, bro. I wouldn't make that. I would not trade TJ Watt for anybody right now. Now, check with me in a couple years. Maybe then I would do it. It depends. We'll see if he starts to drop off. But right now, he is the best defender in the world. He is the most meaningful defensive player in my eyes. He is the true defensive player of the year in the NFL, not the fake bullshit one that they propped up with Myles Garrett just because it was his time. The guy was so non-productive in the entire back half of the season. He did shit. He did nothing for his team in the playoffs. He's a turd. Don't get me on that. Don't even get me on that. I might have a heart attack tonight. That's right. They all that shit to us, the fans, diehard fans, number one fans. I love it. Mark Malone, any less than 12 is a major disappointment. More so if Tomlin gets hoarse in the first round of the playoffs again. Yeah. Like I brought up, guys like TJ Watt not having a playoff win is a complete and utter freaking travesty. It's disgusting. A player of that caliber to never have a team get over that hump, to never have a team around him to win a playoff game. Some of that falls at the feet of Mike Tomlin. I'm sorry. It ain't all on the players. Coaching is a big thing, man. And people can discount it all they want. Coaching matters, dude. Coaching matters in the NFL. And if it's not done correctly, and these players aren't put in the proper position to succeed, none of this happens. None of these dynasties happen like the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be the same player without Andy Reid. Facts. It's facts. Andy Reid is a genius. Tom Brady, I feel like Tom Brady would have succeeded, but would he have succeeded to the level that he has without the tutelage of Bill Belichick and the years that he got to spend with him? Would he be as successful? I don't think so. I think he still would have been successful, but maybe not to that level, because coaching matters. It matters a large amount, on football teams. All right, guys, we're about 25 minutes in. Make sure you're hitting a shit out of that like button for us here on Steel City Live, our daily live stream only here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason, as always. Hitting that like button is free, and it really helps your creators take their channel to that next level. So continue to hit that as we march toward our 4,000 subscriber goal. Get yourself that 99 cents a month Mike Drop Mafia membership. You have a chance to win drawings. You have loyalty badges, emojis, all that good shit, and priority in the chat when it's busy. We will make sure you are the priority, and you're going to get members-only live streams and members-only shows during this season. So keep an eye out for that, all you Mike Drop Mafia members, and it's only 99 cents a month. It will always be 99 cents a month. That will never, ever change. Danny George, hey, man, I see you in the chat, man. Speaking of your plaque, I have it right here still. Email me what your schedule is next week, and I should be able to do something. Yeah, email me, because I think I should be able to do something like Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, but if that doesn't work, I think I have like a Friday, too, that I could do something next week. So we could probably do something and get you your plaque. Daniel Warman just drove back from Clearwater. Saw so many terrible towels. I love the Bengals and now the Steelers. Thank you. Hey, man, more the merrier, baby. More the merrier. And the AFC North is fun to root for, guys. It is a fun division to watch football in. It kind of brings you back to what football used to be. And I fear that football is changing for the worse in some aspects. I love the physical nature of the game of football. I don't want to see players hurt and shit, but I think sometimes they take some of these rules a little bit too far. I think they're watering down the game a little bit too much. They're gearing it a little bit too much toward offense sometimes. I think defense still has to be at the forefront and really matter. And I hope it just is going through this transition period a little bit in terms of player safety rules and things of that nature. But I hope it, comes full circle and gets back to its roots a little bit. But I really keep saying this to myself. If the NFL truly gave a shit about player safety, they wouldn't keep adding games, bro. So they really don't care, man. They really, truly don't care. I can say that with certainty. Sorry, I was just, shit. There we go. Sorry, guys, I was fixing my computer. Let me see if I can get it to go here. I get lost sometimes without my computer. I need it. I don't really use it, but it just feels right. John, Cutthroat, what's up, Mike? I agree. However, Art sent the nation a message by extending Tomlin for 3 more years. Apparently, he is okay with how things have been since the last Super Bowl loss against Green Bay. I hope he's not. I hope he's not satisfied, but maybe he is sending a message. And again, sometimes I think the Steelers are a little overly loyal in certain situations. Not all situations, but certain situations. It's hard to have a winner's mentality with a terrible head coach that don't win shit. That's from Tom Ford. Tell us, Tom. Lay it down, brother. Mark Harper, shout out my boy. I don't know I don't know what that name is, bro. You might misspelled it. Craig, if it's Craig. Jeff Dye, go Steelers. John Broadway, Huggies Diaper Bowl. That's what I think about college football, dude. It's so watered down, and there's a big game here where I live in Morgantown this weekend. West Virginia going to take on at home in Morgantown, number 8, Penn State, which is a big game. You have the Pat McAfee show in town. You have College Game Day in town. It's going to be a big to-do. But does West Virginia even have a freaking chance? Probably not, you know? Just a lot of hoopla, fans getting pumped up, and it is what it is. I'd like to, Tom. I'd like to, buddy. Wilson is washed. I don't think so, man. We'll see. Beer Malls Tomlin at that point, he thinks he's untouchable. That 3-year extension and expiration date in my eyes, get her done. I have to say this, too, and I don't know if any of you have noticed this, and I don't know if I'm wrong and maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but I want to say this. Does it appear that maybe Mike Tomlin has been a little bit more, cocky, a little bit more, maybe seeming a little bit more comfortable with the franchise, than he maybe should be? Maybe coaches should feel a little bit uncomfortable, you know? Maybe that does breed success, and I think it does. I think feeling a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit uneasy, makes you work hard, makes you want to do things, makes you want to be better and improve. So maybe the Steelers need to, let him sit on the coals one time and say, hey, we're not extending you. This is your last year. Put up or shut up. We don't know what to tell you. Maybe that motivates a guy. Maybe that's what Mike Tomlin needs, a swift kick in the ass. Tom Ford, I personally don't think Russell Wilson will last past week 5. Yeah, some say that. I will make my bold prediction here. I think Russell Wilson starts all 17 games for your Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he leads this team into the playoffs. I think he gets a playoff win, and then all bets are off for me because I don't know what would happen after that. But I think that that's how this season will unfold. Now, there are many people that think and agree exactly with what Tom said, that he won't make it very far in the season without injury, and you'll see Justin Fields. But my prediction for this season is that you see Russell Wilson have a decent, solid year. I don't think that he puts up any eye-popping numbers. But again, I have to remind you all that Russell Wilson succeeds in this type of system. This is what Russell Wilson is built to do. When Russell Wilson went to Denver, guys, he was trying to be somebody he wasn't. And they were expecting him to be somebody he wasn't. And at the end of his career in Seattle, they were expecting Russell Wilson to do what? Be somebody he wasn't. And that happens. Again, when you have a quarterback on an inflated salary, making, the most money on the football team, you're not able to do, some of the things that you were able to once do. That seems to be how it all works. And more of the responsibility falls on the shoulders of the quarterback in order for this team to go, to be successful. He has to be a guy that, maybe passes a little bit more than he used to. A guy that has to deliver a little bit more in some of the moments maybe he wouldn't have had to deliver in prior, in the past, to where if he would have had a strong and steady run game and a strong defense all the time, that's when I think he succeeds, being able to use the action game, being able to throw the ball 22 to 25 times a game. That's where I think his sweet spot is. You saw a young Ben Roethlisberger use that same formula and succeed and take a football team to a 15-1 record, losing in the AFC Championship game, coming back the next year, headed to Detroit, winning Super Bowl 40 under that same type of formula. I think that's what you're going to see from Russell Wilson. I think that's the type of formula in which the Steelers wish to deploy this season. And I think that that is exactly where Russell Wilson shines. And I can't discount that. And I have to look at the overall picture. Even in a bad situation last year with the Broncos, a situation in which he was asked to do more than he should be asked to do. Outside of his comfort zone, trying to be somebody he wasn't at the quarterback position. He still was able to put up a good amount of touchdown passes and still able to produce and still able to win a little bit. So I'm not super down on Russell Wilson. I think he is in immaculate shape, amazing shape. I think he still has a big arm. I think he can still get things done, and we'll just have to continue to watch and see. LO Ford, you think injury or gameplay? I love this shit. That's from Beer Malls. What's up, Sean? Brian Hanford. Oh my, Jason's fired up today. I'm so far behind in the chat. I'm sorry, guys. The roster management. Tomlin is a leader of young men. He'd be a great college coach. I think he would be, but man, I just think he's too comfortable. I think the Rooney should have made him uncomfortable this year by allowing him to sit as a lame duck head coach without an extension, and just seeing what that did for him. Seeing if that motivated him a little bit. Marvin Lewis, this is from Daniel Warman. Marvin Lewis was 17 years of disappointment. It's all how the players respect their head coach. God bless. I think it is. A lot of it is how they respect their head coach, and Mike Tomlin has that part down. He has that part down. But the technical parts, the parts in which the players, have to be guided on the field in terms of situationally, scheme-wise, roster management-wise, when people have to put their foot down and say, look, Mitchell Trubisky, you suck ass, bro. I can't play you. I'm playing the third-string guy and Mason Rudolph. That's what we're doing because you suck. That's what the Steelers need, man. Marvin Lewis, he had times of success, but he was 17 years of disappointment, never got the Bengals to the promised land, and that's what most Bengals fans wanted to see. Brian Hanford, I started out souring on Tomlin when he put up with the AB bullshit question. Is he a Hall of Fame material? Who, AB or Tomlin? I think both. AB is going to probably have a little bit tougher time considering how his career ended and things of that nature. I think that will hold him back and take him some time in order to get in. But I think they're both Hall of Fame type candidates. I think that the Hall of Fame will eventually get them in there. But I think Mike Tomlin, with the way people worship him and act like he does no wrong, he'll be a first ballot guy. John Moore, preach the truth, go Debo, or go get the hell out of here. Thank you, Miss Pittsburgh. Yes, guys, hit the shit out of that like button here for us on Steel City Live, only on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all that good shit, and helping us continue to grow this channel. And we're going to continue to work harder and bring up the show's production value and all that for you guys to continue to bring better and better and better stuff. And hopefully we'll just continue to keep growing and make this thing a real giant community of Steeler fans and a truthful community where the truth is spoken, not the clickbait bullshit and not what, somebody's sitting up here telling you what you want to hear. We don't want to be that. We want to just be truthful and have a lot of fun doing it. Beer Malls, Daniel Warman, he's talking to Daniel. Rich, what's up? Daniel, true, my friend. Beer Malls plus Marvin's Bengals were playing top-notch Steelers and Ravens teams during this era. They were. J-Rod, greetings from South Texas. What's up, J-Rod? I worked in South Texas for some time in McAllen, Texas. McAllen, Edinburgh, all those good places. Beer Malls, I'm worried the AFC North tide has flipped that way with us and Tomlin. The Ravens and Bengals, even Browns are stacked. You are going to face some quality teams. But again, the Steelers they've been able to be okay inside of the division. They've still been able to be successful inside of the division. So I'm not overly concerned. I think they can still get it done, but we'll just have to see. Yeah, they did, Brian. Cutthroat. Tomlin is in the playoffs, 8-10 with the victories at the beginning. What has he done lately? Nothing. And that's the truth. No doubt about it. And we went through that one day here on the live show, guys. I don't know if some of you recall that. We gave you all Mike Tomlin's numbers, playoff-wise, and we gave you all his regular season numbers. And honestly, the success has not been there, man, since he played with a Bill Cowher-built football team. It just hasn't. It hasn't. Now, there's been a couple little sputters here and there, but where's the consistency in order to say, oh, this guy's, the greatest thing since sliced bread, I respect the guy. I think he's done good things. But do I think he is a top shelf coach? I don't know. I don't know what my opinion is, because if you're not winning playoff games, you're not being successful in that way, and you're hanging your hat on just a non-losing streak. I just don't know. I just don't know where he sits. It's such a weird situation for me. John Broadway, if Yins are going to talk about Tomlin and without all those players and certain coaches that aren't here anymore, and it's all on Tomlin. I think it's all on Tomlin this year. I don't say that every year, but I think this year it falls at Tomlin's feet for sure. Brian Hanford, I will have more respect for Tomlin if he can win a playoff game with this wide receiver room. I think that he needs to have his best coaching performance of his entire career this year. I think it's imperative, in my eyes, to cement a legacy for him. Again, the non-losing streak record doesn't impress me. It really doesn't. What does it show? You have no playoff wins. It shows what? Mediocrity. That's it. That's all it shows. Okay, you've been middle of the road for, 18 years. Great. I'm just saying. That's all it's going to take. Also, win a playoff game. Every year you expect your team to do a little better. Like, oh, we lost in the divisional round. Next year we're going to the AFC Championship. You do want to see that, and that's what you want to see from like the games each week from the football team. You want to see that steady progression. You want to see the team get a little bit better each week. That's how you know the coaching's working. That's how you know the team is motivated and ready to roll and really aiming towards that end-all, be-all goal, in my eyes. Cutthroat. I would think Tomlin would acknowledge his strengths and weaknesses and hire those who can help him win. There is nothing wrong with bringing in a young, innovative OC and let him find the quarterback. And no, I'll give Mike Tomlin credit here. And John, I agree. I think he should recognize his deficiencies, allow people to come in and pick up where he is weak. I believe in that too. Where I think Mike Tomlin did do some things right this offseason was hires like an Arthur Smith. I think that was a solid hire in my eyes. I think Coach Azzani, guys like that, coaches from outside of the organization to come in and bring some fresh ideas. I thought that that has been done this season. I thought it may not have been to the level we all would have maybe hoped in terms of maybe a younger OC, a more innovative, guru type guy. But I think that there were strides made there, and I think that there were deficiencies recognized and said, hey, man, I need some guys to come in and pick up some of this slack. I did find one comment that Mike Tomlin made kind of a little bit backhanded and smart-assed a little bit. And that was when he, the big giant news, Russell Wilson's quarterback, whoa, earth-shattering news. But anyway, they had asked him, did Arthur Smith have input on who he wanted to be quarterback? And he said, well, they have input. They make suggestions, but guys like me make decisions. Oh, okay, hard ass. Like, some things you don't need to be a hard ass about. And that was a little bit of a backhanded comment in my eyes. And I don't like that. Ivan, I think we have a top 5 defense couples with an explosive running game attack could get us back in the playoffs. Yeah, but that's the explosive run game part is going to be what? Contingent on that offensive line, guys, and that has to be a main focus, and that has to be fixed. That's got to be your worry right now, guys. Forget the Russell Wilson shit. Forget the Justin Fields shit. Forget the wide receiver room shit. Forget it all. It doesn't matter. It's all totally irrelevant if that freaking line isn't where it needs to be. It's irrelevant. Top 5 defense messed up with the explosive running attack. I think they'll have a top 5 defense too, Ivan, for sure. Jason's channel, where do you think the Steelers will end up at the end of the season? My prediction is 11-6. I think that's where the Steelers fall. I'm going to go with my way too early prediction and stick with 11-6. I think that is a fair place for them when I look at this football team as a whole and I look at the schedule. And I know a lot of you are super upset with the NFL. I know that because you think that they kind of stack that back end of the schedule against the Steelers. And I can see what you're trying to say there. But if you really look at this, when would you want to play those teams in your division? Would you want to play them in week 3 or 4 when everybody's healthy? Week 1, 2, 3, 4? Would you want to play them then? Or would you rather play them in the back half of the year when there's potential injuries and things of that nature to where maybe that team isn't running on full strength? I'd rather do it later in the year, man. I know you're sprinkling in the Chiefs and the Eagles. I understand that. But I'd still rather take what they have this year in terms of their schedule for that back half. I think that that's favorable, actually. I really do. The more that I thought about it, the more I think it's a favorable situation for the Steelers. I really, really, truly think that. And it's going to depend on their team's health, of course. I understand that. But, man, the chances are far better for them to win those games later toward the end of the year, back half of the season, as opposed to right at the beginning there when everybody's full go. And two, you get a chance to gel, playing other teams out of your division. You get a chance to really hone in your skills before you take them up against your divisional opponents. All right, Jason Channel, where we did that. I'm in top 3. We did that. I don't know how the man's still there, to be honest with you. That's from Ivan for, he means Tomlin. Sometimes you wonder, man. Ivan, 2010 was 13 years ago, and the Steelers have not really had what you think about it as a true dominant team since the 2010 Troy Polamalu, Dick LeBeau team. No, they haven't. They haven't. That's the truth. That's the truth. No doubt about it. Thomas Breeze, league adds games and prohibits weed. Yeah, I think that marijuana should be allowed in the NFL. I think that should be the main pain medication, the main thing that they use to manage their pain and ailments. I definitely do. I'd rather have that than any type of opiate or anything like that out there. So I think the NFL needs to lift their thumb off of the pot stuff. I definitely think that would be far better for their players than any of that other shit. Wave your towels from It's Pittsburgh. Truly appreciated. J-Rod, I'm ready for the season. Me too. Thomas Breeze, easy to make argument against Tomlin, but you all lost credibility calling him garbage. I don't call him garbage. I never called him garbage anyway. Maybe others think he's garbage. I don't think he's garbage. I think that he has major deficiencies in which he needs to fix. I definitely do. And I'm not going to sit here and being a Mike Tomlin apologist. Those things don't fly with me with that. And I just want to look at it from a truthful perspective. His roster management bullshit, it's horrible. It is. It just is. His time management, his usage of challenges, when and, which ones to use them on, what parts of the game to use them on, are horrible. It makes you wonder, is he not, having somebody up in the box to help him out with that kind of shit, like they can't afford it or something? That's a real disappointment. There's a lot on this football team that could be corrected by coaching in terms of how the coaches were hired, in terms of positional coaches, coordinators, things of that nature, promoting from within, acting like your guys are the only guys that can do it, not bringing in any type of new, innovative ideas, allowing your units to just get farther and farther and farther behind the NFL 8-ball as time progressed. And this is the ditch you dig. And I think those things have to be recognized. And Mike Tomlin has to be called to the carpet for that. And it's okay. No coach is perfect. None, zero. None of them are. But Mike Tomlin and his way of managing some of these games is not good. It's just not. And I won't call him garbage, but I will say that he has some major deficiencies. George Pickensburg. Steelers country, I'm dead inside. I think you're all right, George Pickensburg. Brian Hanford, where do they pivot to at wide receiver, or are we rolling with what we got? Can Tomlin get the most out of this group? I think they could be okay rolling with what they got. I'm not concerned about it. I think it's all right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe others will think, differently. But we'll see. I'm not sure where they would turn. After this Brandon Aiyuk saga, I'm kind of burned out on the speculation of whom they may go after because I just need a second. The Brobarian. Sup, y'all? What's the topic tonight? Oh, everything, Brobarian. I'm so far behind in the chat, people probably ain't even in here anymore. Russ, what's up, man? D, friendly bet on whether Russ has one game this season that's as good as Rudolph against the Bengals last season. Yeah, think of a bet, D. Think of a bet. I'll take it. Beer Malls, what's up? George Pickensburg, we got a bottomed head wide receiver core in the NFL right now. I guess it's just how you look at it, how you view it, I guess. I think that there's some upside there. George Pickens, we should have never traded Deontay without a plan to replace him. I think they just wanted rid of Deontay Johnson, man. I don't think it mattered for them where they got rid of him because they weren't going to pay him the next year anyway. So why not turn him into somebody that can help you now in Dante Jackson? So D-Jack got that shit, man. He's a physical guy, I think. I think he's a fast guy. So I don't mind it. I'm glad that he's out. The Brobarian, I wouldn't say anybody worship him, but I do respect what he's done compared to other coaches throughout the years with their teams. You're talking about Mike? Dude, yeah. I'm not saying that he, is a complete failure. But we can't applaud the mediocrity. I just don't know how being just average all of a sudden became the Pittsburgh way. When did that become the Pittsburgh way? When did the city of Pittsburgh become okay with just being average and just okay? When did anybody in the fan base just pick up that kind of loser's attitude? I don't want that. And I think the Steelers need to really look at things and say to themselves, have we become so complacent that just being average is the Steeler way now? Is that the standard? You know what I mean? I think they need to change that. And I think Mike Tomlin, it has to start with him. This has to be his best season in my eyes. All right, guys, we're 52 minutes in. Make sure you're smashing the shit out of that like button for us here on Steel City Live, only here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason, as we continue through the chat here on a Thursday. What's up? You're talking to them. I'm worried about hearing in the middle of the season, Pickens out 2 to 4 weeks, beer malls. Yeah, that could be devastating, but you got to remember too, guys, there is a trade deadline in the NFL. So there is still time to add to this roster. It doesn't have to be right now. Do I think that Omar Khan has some sort of move up his sleeve? Absolutely. I think he does. I don't think that this 53-man looks identical to what you see on paper right now. I don't think it looks the exact same way come week 1 in Atlanta. I still think there's something that could go down. John Broadway, no AB in Hall. He isn't anything but Shelve himself, Jagoff. He is a Jagoff. Hope it goes well for you, Russ. Okay, he's talking to Russ. Danny, thanks. If Tomlin gets us to Super Bowl this year, I'm ready for a new coach. Cam the Hunter, Pittsburgh fan. Let's go Steelers. D. He's talking to Russ. Danny George, no problem. Russ, Angela. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowgirls? John Broadway, Tomlins matriculating his whole entire career. Daniel Warman, my kids watch Big Brother, but sorry, kids, Mike drops on my big screen. Thank you, Jay. Hey, awesome, man. I like being on TV. That's awesome. Appreciate you, Daniel. Russ, yeah, D, have to get it done or we will get even more nerve damage already. Oh, he's talking about that. Prayers to you, Russ. I hope everything's working out with you there, brother. Beer Malls, honestly, besides the pathetic offense last year, we were winning those close games still, then just went downhill. If we won the Pats and the Cards game, hell, I thought we were eyeing on winning the North. But you look at that Pats game, you look at that Cardinals game, and this team was stumbling before those games. This team was starting to stumble and starting to, get weak with injury. And why did that all start happening, guys? The offense was so bad that it couldn't keep itself out on the field. It put so much strain on that Steelers defense, one in which could have been phenomenal last year. The roster looked nice on the defensive side of the football, but the offense did them no favors. They got them in a bad, compromising situation. They were constantly on the field. When I watched the Steeler game, I felt like all I did was watch the Steelers defense. And I would see a couple plays here and there of Kenny Kitten Mittens throwing a damn ball into the ground or throwing it to a check down. That didn't excite me, man. It was definitely at the hands of Mike Tomlin there too, because scheme matters, coaching matters there. In those situations, the coach has to take control and dig his team out of that. Has to make the proper moves on the roster. Has to make the proper adjustments in terms of schematics. And it doesn't matter about firing a coach here or there, whatever. Take control and figure the shit out. And just tell that coach, like, look, dude, we're going to do things this way. Your way isn't working. And Mike Tomlin has to be responsible for that. All right, guys, I got to get a drink. Man, my voice is getting hoarse. Russ thinks we have the talent to win it all this year. O-line needs to step up. I think that's where it all starts. Rich, the back end is going to be fun. I think it is. Actually, Rich, I do think the back end is going to be an amazing part of this season. I think it will be super fun to watch it, guys. I really do. I hope you're all excited for it because I think it is going to be one hell of a ride that back half of the season, man. I like tough schedule and backs against the wall. That's when we win Super Bowls. History says that. True. No doubt about it, Russ. The history has showed that. And again, guys, I got to hang my hat on the Tomlin preseason record. When he has losing preseason, losing parts of his preseason schedule to start the year, man, it usually spells playoff success. I love it. I never want to see the Steelers go 3-0 in the playoff or in the preseason. Beer Malls, I'm fed up with Week 17 scoreboard watching with hope and a prayer to get in the tournament. I want to be a legitimate playoff team. I, too, am sick of that, and I think that falls at Tomlin's feet, too, and people are okay with that. Like, again, guys, I got to bring up just the one major point that has to stick in all of our heads. The best defender in the entire world has been on your football team for a long time and does not have a playoff win on his resume. That tells the tale for me. Tom Ford, Jason, did you see the video on YouTube where Steelers fans said to Mike Tomlin, come on, coach, let's win today? Tomlin tells him to F off, I'm working. I posted that. You probably seen it on my channel. I did post it, but it was from somebody else. I don't know who recorded it, but I made a short of that. And if you guys would like to see Mike Tomlin cuss out a fan and tell him he's effing working, go to my channel. You'll find it in the shorts section. And make sure you smash the like button on that one. Actually, that short is done pretty well. I think it's got like 20,000 views or something. I have one short that still gets views, and it's of Darnell Washington. It's got like 130,000 or 140,000 views, and it still gets views. I don't even know why people watch it. It's not even my best short. Tom Ford, I can't believe he talks to fans that way. That don't bother me. I mean, yeah, it's probably not the right thing to do. You're right. It's probably not. Things like that don't bug me. Matt Burton, Tomlin benefited from a Hall of Fame quarterback for his career. Yeah, but honestly, where did Ben take Mike Tomlin for the majority of that time? Nowhere. You know, they lost the Super Bowl together. They won a Super Bowl together. And then after that, it just was stale and stagnant and just okay. I wish Ben, though, would have had a little bit more oomph left in him there at the end, too. Because, guys, let's face the facts. Ben was a shell of himself those last several years, those last 3 years. That wasn't the Ben that we knew. That wasn't the Ben that won Super Bowls. And I understand you have to give the guy the respect and let him finish out his career. What he did for the city of Pittsburgh in terms of getting to 3 Super Bowls and winning 2 of them. Should have won 3 of them. I felt like that game was given away, man. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's for another day. But, man, you got to pay homage to Big Ben and what he was able to do. Daniel Warman, I believe Tomlin will be tough under pressure this year. My prediction, Steelers 12-5. Yeah, and guys, I really truly think this season is the one real true chance. You've heard about it talked about many times, man, many times over the years. This division, every team can make the playoffs. I really think this year could be that year. I don't know why. I just have a weird feeling that this is going to be some crazy year because you have Hard Knocks film in the back half of the season, really monitoring this AFC North battle, really diving in deep with it, and it just seems like the stars are aligning. So never know. He did piss away. Beer malls. I work at Home Depot in the lumber department. September 1st, weed is legit. Even to get your forklift certification, no testing for it anymore. Kind of cool. A big corp doing that. Yeah, that is cool, beer malls. I don't think it should be illegal. I think it's stupid that it is. Matt Burton, Patriots stole 1 or 2 rings from us by out coaching us. They did. And out cheating us too. And that's been admitted by play. It's a fact, no doubt about it. But I don't get mad about the cheating. I really don't. And I say this because why? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's just what I'm saying. So I don't really get pissed off about it. The Steelers should have just maybe cheated a little bit better than them. But they did get outcoached in some of those games. Coward did get outcoached in those games. There were times that the Steelers had the Patriots on the ropes and let it slip through their fingers. I remember watching those games at home, AFC Championship game after AFC Championship game at home, at Heinz, and letting that slip through your fingers. How disappointing that was. And, Cowher wasn't perfect either, man. He had major deficiencies also. It is what it is. That's why I said, Tomlin is what he is too. Robert wrote, I'm back from some of the chat. The young offensive linemen are going to have to grow up fast. I am not worried about Frazier at all, and I think McCormick will play well. My worry is offensive tackle. I think mine too, man. I think the guards, is a good amount of depth. I think I really have high hopes for Spencer Anderson, guys. I think he is going to be the one to step in there for Isaac Seumalo, and I think he will deliver, man. I really, truly do. This is nationwide new company policy. Also, that's cool, man. I'm glad for you guys. I'm glad you enjoy your job too. I remember when you were getting it and all that stuff. So I'm pumped that you're there and enjoying it, and things are looking up for you guys there. Tyrone Johnson. So what now? So now what? I don't know, buddy. We'll have to wait and see. Remember, Coach Reed in Philadelphia left because he wasn't liked anymore. Now he's a freaking saint in Kansas City. That's from John Broadway. Yeah, he couldn't get over the mountaintop there. He made it to a Super Bowl in Philadelphia and lost the TO game, man. That team was. That was crazy. That was a crazy game. I remember that. But he had success there, but he was like a Bill Cowher, could never get over the hump there for a long, long, long time. Bill was just able to get to it after, quite some time at the very end of his career. But it was needed for a fresh start there, and he has become like coaching royalty now in Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes helps. If I win the bet, then you have to hold finger guns up and say, go Pokes. Deal, man. Deal, brother. You're all right, John Broadway. What's up, y'all, from Brent. Tyrone Johnson. Steelers was just okay, if not worse, all through the 80s. Didn't do nothing till Big Ben got drafted. That's true, too. There are periods of it, Tyrone, and I can't say that there aren't. But you still have to look at what causes those times, So definitely not having a franchise quarterback has hurt. Not preparing for life after Ben Roethlisberger has been a major issue. So, hopefully this year with Russell Wilson under center, things do get better and things start to become more consistent. So we'll see. But definitely does hurt. Russ is good with the wide receivers and tight ends. All right, guys, we're about 64 minutes into the show. So if you haven't hit like already, make sure you do that. There should be 3 little white dots up in the right-hand corner of your screen that some of you may be able to tap on that, hit like. Or you could hit like on your way out the door tonight after the show. You could do that. I'd appreciate it very, very much. And also sharing the show and all that good shit, especially after it uploads. You can watch it later. So, again, guys, I truly appreciate all the likes and all that good stuff. And don't forget to get your Mic Drop Mafia membership, 99 cents a month. Things will start to really heat up with that. And again, I hope to have members only live sessions to where we can maybe do like a Zoom type call and be able to really interact with each other and have a more loose and easy conversation, not in a show format and things of that nature. But again, I want you to continue to look out for us up in our production value and all that. Things are really going to take off this year here on Mike Drop Sports, and we are going to become the place to go for Pittsburgh Steelers talk and analysis, man. We're going to make it happen. We're going to get there, and we're going to succeed and reach the mountaintop. And we're not going to have that mentality of just being average is okay. We've hit a point that in our growth that we need to either shit and get off the pot or hang it up. And I'm ready to take that shit and get moving. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Again, if I missed your chat, I apologize. Things get hectic in the chat. We're going to, now that the season's here and we have more concurrent viewers at one time, the chat is a lot busier. I will start prioritizing the Mic Drop Mafia messages and kind of go from there. And that way I could get a lot more of those. And that will kind of give the priority, and then I'll work my way down. That way I can make sure I answer all of your questions for the Mafia members. But until tomorrow, man, we'll have another fun live tomorrow, and I hopefully you'll end up having some big Steelers news hit by tomorrow night. So maybe we'll have some things to talk about there on a Friday. But we'll be back for our live show tomorrow night at, let's try to shoot for 7:30, 7:45 time frame again tomorrow night. We'll shoot for that time again. So we will be back then for Steel City Live. And we will be back in the morning with our daily uploads. So keep tuning in to us here on Mike Drop Sports. And again, I appreciate your support. So till tomorrow, man. Peace. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.